So a lot has happened recently with PlayStation, and I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 5 interesting PlayStation 5 stories. And if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to cover in this video includes VRR support getting official rollout by Sony, God of War Ragnarok's delay, Killzone 1, 2, 3 getting remasters on PlayStation 5, Spiderman 2, and Sony's recent studio buyouts. There's a good chunk to go over here. First, yes or no, do you want a Metal Gear Solid remake for PlayStation 5 or not? We're going to talk about it here in a sec, but I'm curious if you guys want that remake or something else instead. So comment below, yes or no, do you want a Metal Gear Solid remake or not? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, Spider-Man 2 PlayStation 5. I didn't get a chance to cover this in my last video, but apparently Spider-Man 2 is going for a darker tone than the first game. Bill Roseman, Vice President of Creative at Marvel Games, said this during the This Week in Marvel podcast. If the first Spider-Man game was Star Wars, Spider-Man 2 is kind of our empire. It gets a little darker. He also added this, reading from Video Game Chronicle. Roseman described it as everything you love about the first game and Spider-Man Miles Morales, but more. There are multiple foes. I can say the story very much continues and picks up from Marvel Spider-Man to Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. I don't want to reveal too much, but it's going to be the next big chapter. There are a lot of threads, a lot of characters that were in the first two games that you'll see here. So the comment people are focusing on here is Spider-Man 2 is their Empire Strikes Back, which is probably the highest rated Star Wars movie. He basically put a mountain of hype on this game. The darker tone here is also what's making a lot of people happy, considering Venom is now in the game. Now, diving into the second story of the video, God of War Ragnarok. So a recent story came out as to why God of War Ragnarok was delayed. This comes directly from Christopher Judge, the voice behind Kratos. He recently said this: 100 in my feels right now. I need to be forthcoming. This has been approved by no one. To the beloved fandom, Ragnarok was delayed because of me. August 2019, I couldn't walk, had to have back surgery, both hips replaced, and knee surgery. They waited for me to rehab. So, Sony Santa Monica was already amazing in my books for producing one of my favorite characters and game franchises of all time, but this just adds so much wholesomeness to the studio. It's not fake here, not that I thought it was before, but it clearly hit Christopher on an emotional level to want to come out like this and give all this praise to the studio. So good on Sony Santa Monica for taking care of their own. Beyond that, this also confirms this was originally a 2021 title, as we've heard from rumors and seen from the original teaser for the game. In the end, I don't mind waiting. I know this game will be great, but you guys let me know if you're surprised that God of War Ragnarok could have released in 2021 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the third story of the video, Killzone 1, 2, 3 remasters for PlayStation 5. So before you get too excited, this is just talk right now, but I'm reporting on it because of one reason, which we'll get into in a sec. But the story here is simple. Recently, an image has been making the rounds showcasing what looks to be a remastered collection for PlayStation 5 and PC of Killzone 1, 2, 3, and Shadowfall. The release date for this game apparently is set for late 2022. Now, this is probably fake, this image. There are a couple of things pointed out that's off with this picture, but the idea of a Killzone remastered series doesn't seem crazy to me. Killzone 1 is already in HD form. Killzone 2 and 3 already look great. Just bring them up to 4K 60 and people will be happy. And Shadowfall is a PlayStation 4 game that sometimes could be played off as a PlayStation 5 title, so it's already ready to go. Maybe just add ray tracing to it to, elevate it just a bit more. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because Shinobi602 on Twitter. I want to be clear, this probably means nothing, but days before this image started to circulate, Shinobi tweeted this: I'd love a Killzone 1 to 3 remaster collection, redone visuals, ray tracing, 60 FPS. Killzone 2 would especially look fine as hell, still holds up crazy well today. So this could be nothing, but Shinobi 602 has been known to tease things before their announcements, similar to the Bluepoint acquisition recently. Not saying that's what he's doing here, but I'm not ruling out the possibility. What really probably happened is Shinobi tweeted this out and someone saw the tweet and decided to create an image for it for the fun of it. But for me personally, I really hope that's not the case. I hope Killzone sees the light of day again. I missed the franchise, mainly talking about Killzone 2, 3, and Mercenary, those games especially. Now, diving into the fourth story of the video, studio buyouts. So Sony has been on a roll in recent history. Housemarque and Nixies were bought out not too long ago, but since then they've added 3 more studios. Ex-PlayStation employee created studio Firesprite Studio was added to the family, but beyond them, just recently ex-Firesprite Studios created studio Fabric Studios was also added to the Firesprite team, which makes them a PlayStation Studio team as well. So just to repeat that real quick, Fabric Studio was added to the Firesprite team studio, who are already a PlayStation Studios team. So that's what's happening right now. A quick note on Fabric, though. Apparently, they're working on a AAA horror title. Reading from Gaming Bolt, in a listing for a junior level designer, it noted that the level design team was a small collaborative one that was working on multiple big projects. Knowledge of Unreal Engine 4, including Blueprint scripting, was listed in the requirements. The developer also noted that having experience on first-person shooters would be a bonus, and being interested in horror and FPS titles would be nice. So that's a quick note on Fabric and what they could be working on, but we'll see if that changes, since that now they're with Firesprite. Maybe the project could change, or maybe they'll let them stick with what they were already trying to work on. But going beyond Fabric, we have Bluepoint Games here as well, who were announced to be joining the PlayStation Studios family yesterday. In my head, this happened months ago. There were people doubting it then, I remember, even though the tweet came from the official Japanese PlayStation account and had an original art asset for the acquisition. But the big thing about Bluepoint is that they let the world know they're working on an original title, which sounds like a new IP. But as I noted on Twitter yesterday, they had a job listing not too long ago for a senior VFX artist that stated, create higher quality texture maps inspired by lower resolution source images using tools such as Photoshop, Houdini, Foom FX, Maya, 3D Max, or Substance. The inspired by lower resolution source images part definitely sounds like a remake to me. I also stated that I've seen job postings indicating they're working on a new IP and a remake, which lines up with what I saw leakers say afterwards. In terms of what the remake is, I've seen multiple leakers now say it's not Metal Gear Solid, but it's a beloved PlayStation franchise, and the original game they're working on here could be a new IP, since we've heard rumors that have said in order for the acquisition to happen with Sony, that Bluepoint would be given a chance to make their own game instead of being a just a remaster / remake studio, and this looks to be what happened. One leaker, though, Millie Amand, states that the original game they're working on is in the size of Spider-Man Miles Morales, so an 8 to 10 hour game, which makes sense considering they're a small studio, and basically now they're working on 2 games, one a remake and one an original title. Now, diving into the final story of the video, VRR official rollout. So for people who don't know, VRR again here is variable refresh rate. Basically, it allows the TV to change its refresh rate to provide a smoother overall image. So say your console is pushing out 60 FPS, your TV will be at 60 hertz. If it's pushing out 40 FPS, your TV will match that refresh rate, so you see an overall smoother image on the TV. You don't notice those changes in frame rate, which sometimes gives you cuts and stuff like that. It's an overall, again, smoother image. So for this story, I'll keep it straight and simple. Apparently Sony has started rolling out a new firmware update to enable ALLM and VRR support on 2020's Bravia X900H TVs, according to translated patch notes from Sony China's website by YouTuber HD TV Test. These updates will be rolling out first in China, but hopefully they'll be coming coming to other regions not long after. But the interesting part about this for me is that this update started rolling out in September, this past week, and we've heard rumors of Sony releasing an update for the PlayStation 5 that will add VRR support for the console, releasing sometime in December of this year. So seeing this update pop up now on official Sony TVs gives us more hope that that rumor about the December PlayStation 5 update is true. It's just weird because VRR is a pretty big feature for many people, but I guess a low-key update in December is probably where we'll see this actually happen. But you guys let me know if you're happy to see Sony roll out VRR support for their TVs, or do you not care? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with the Sony takeover week. Obviously, this is self-explanatory. Obviously, based off what we just talked about, there's just been a lot of PlayStation news this week. So if you're excited for everything we talked about, destroy the comment section with the Sony takeover week, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.